Actually, I was involved in college debate 2010. I didn't debate in high school. I had a class, African American history from like 1770 something to like the 1850s. No, to like to the early 1900s. And I had a guy in the class by the name of Paul Eicher. He was on the OU's University of Oklahoma debate squad, and he just heard me kind of making like class, like raising my hand, asking critical questions to people in class and to teachers, and he thought that it would be good or a good idea for me to join the debate team, and I joined the debate team. 3 years later, I'm here now.
Wow, cool. So next question is, why would you call me right now? That's what I'm doing. Next question is, what is one thing you hope the youth participants of the ECLI Summer Debate Camp take from their experience here at the ECLI camp in Morgan 2013?
Really, the main thing I hope that the kids are able to take away from ECLI is just how interconnected debate is to everyday life, and how like from what we watch on television, from the language that people use to create dialogue and conversation with us, like how that really could be used and how it should be used in our in debate rounds, like our everyday life experiences, from what we watch on TV to religion to politics to the economy to social issues, and how all that can just be put, like how all that can be used in debate, and how all that kind of is interconnected with everything else that we talk about.
Good. And the next question is, what are some of the challenges you foresee facing those students in the realms of debate, urban debate, and academia after they leave this camp and moving forward into the future?
Yeah. Actually, to answer that question, I think it's a few things that the kids are going to be, you said, worried about?
Just challenges, general challenges.
I think it's going to be a few things that's going to challenge the kids after leaving this camp. First off, I already acknowledge how during this camp we've given the kids a lot of wiggle space to express themselves, mentally, physically, politically, and economically. And I understand how when we go to other spaces like traditional policy debate, how that type of expression is not really encouraged, nor is it really, legitimized or credited within this space, especially given it from particular bodies like African Americans in politics or whatever. So I know that'll be one thing that's going to challenge. It's going to be challenging for them when they go to policy debate to the season. That they're going to have a lot of judges that didn't look like a lot of the people that taught them here at ECLI. And there's going to be some instances, I know, with as far as RFDs and decisions go, and as far as like strategies they pick and choose to give debates. And I know it's going to be some type of tension, when it's when they have to either deploy or explain themselves, given different audiences or different people that has to take the message. And then I feel like a lot of the information that we've learned here at camp or whatever, like Shanae Reed Brinkley gave a lecture over Western thought. She brought Western thought down into 5 or 6 components. Well, I can see how that could be challenging for students after they leave ECLI, because a lot of the knowledge and the epistemology that we talked about in this debate, at ECLI, was either a criticism, a deconstruction, or just straight illuminating type of message that kind of was very countering the very ideas that's originally given to us when we talk about things like Western thought. So I guess the main, I guess with that or whatever, what's gonna be challenging for the students is to have to worry about suppressing the real information that they know about Western, in this instance, what Western thought did to non-white bodies, and how Western thought situated, African Americans and people of color, even women, how the Cartesian subject and how Western thought situated them. And I know when I was growing up and I was coming up or whatever, when I had information that was, contradicting what was being told to me and given to me in the space that was being given to me as if it was a universal truth, and when I had some knowledge in my mind, information in my mind that was nah, I don't think you're right about that. I understand when you put in them situations or whatever, it kind of like force you to be put in a double bind, where it's like, do I raise my hand and let the teacher or professor or lecturer know that I have some conflicting information that might not, that would challenge the very notion of what they're talking about? Or do I suppress the desire to want to be able to express alternative perspective or alternative like knowledge, you know what I'm saying, production or whatever? So like, really that's a good question, asking like what's going to be like some challenges the ECLI students are going to face, because I feel like I'm gonna take a line from Spider-Man, or from a Spider-Man movie, when he's about to get killed. His father tells him how with much privilege comes much responsibility, and I understand how like a lot of the kids here, and even me as a staff being here, I've been able to be privileged to be able to come to this space and have the experience of being here at ECLI. But I know that with their privilege of being able to be here and being able to share the knowledge or whatever, it's gonna become much responsibility. And you know, I feel like all the people that come before us, for people who's like really, you know, giving their lives to like push forward, you know what I'm saying, the struggle or the liberation of black people, it come a lot of responsibility with, you know what I'm saying, the privilege of having that knowledge. And sometimes that that responsibility of having that privilege can kind of, you know what I'm saying, drive us to being crazy and drive us to feeling alienated. So I just, you know what I'm saying, hope the kids to be able to like position themselves and be grounded, and not only what they know, but be grounded in like how the world positions them, you know what I'm saying, knowing what they know and like being what their position is. Well, that was a lot.
And you actually, the question I was going to ask you, you answered in that last question, so I'm going to jump to another one. The question was, today debate is a majority white male-dominated activity. Black people say that it's hostile. What was your experience as a debater? I'll probably just get back to that one later, and just we'll delve a little bit more into your experience specifically. But this next question, to segue into that, is what are your thoughts on the overall movement and progression of urban debate leagues from your time first getting involved until now?
Let's see. To be honest with you, like this camp right here kind of like gave me a lot of groundwork for the history of like UDL debate and like black debate in the bigger context of like like how like majority traditional debate goes. So like, to answer the first part of the question or whatever, I feel like I'm kind of torn in between like the actual like reasoning for having a UDL, especially like for how it functions or whatever, where you take, you know what I'm saying, kids from inner urban cities and from, you know what I'm saying, like sacrificial zones economically, politically, and socially, and then you create a league for them to debate other people in those zones or whatever. To me, like I understand that's kind of how like the UDL model was kind of built on. And me personally or whatever, I got like some discrepancies to that, because that's kind of like how, like to me, that's like a manifestation of like during the Django movie when they have the Mandingo fighting or whatever. Like to me, like the UDL in the sense of UDLs, you know what I'm saying, could be like couched arguably into being a manifestation of Mandingo fighting, where you just have, you know what I'm saying, other African Americans and people of color beating up on each other, you know what I'm saying, where it's kind of fishing, you know what I'm saying, coalitions that could be built and fishing, you know what I'm saying, real type of like sustainability that could happen between, you know what I'm saying, like two people of color, specifically like two black people or whatever. So like, really just got mixed feelings about like, you know what I'm saying, UDL, the significance of UDL, and like where it's come from and where it's going, because I also understand how UDLs are also being controlled by a lot of like non-black bodies, you know what I'm saying. I know the UDL is a majority for like black students, so then again, like bringing up my little slavery, you know what I'm saying, metaphor or whatever, like I said, like I'm flying down a slippery slope and getting into some other, you know what I'm saying, some other like shortfallings or some other like unethical, you know what I'm saying, like unethical practices, where you have, you know what I'm saying, like the superiority complex of like white people coming to the hood and basically like liberating or saving, you know what I'm saying, a whole bunch of students. I'm gonna take a line from my man Boosie, free that man too. He say, if you don't know my struggle, you can't feel my hustle. I feel like I would apply that to, you know what I'm saying, like how like the UDL is being, you know what I'm saying, functional or whatever. Like Like, I'm not saying that like white people can't go to communities, you know what I'm saying, like where, you know, the government or where economically and politically they've been disenfranchised. I'm not saying that can't happen. However, I feel like when he talks about, like when we start talking about like who leads those discussions and who leads those organizations, institutions, like I feel like it's just kind of problematic in a sense to have like white people doing it. I don't know if that's what you was asking when you asked me the question, but when you asked me the question, that's what I got. Like that's what made me come to mind and think about it. And also I feel like the reason why I think about this or whatever is because, like, again, I didn't like how I was introduced to this activity. I understand it was completely different how like other people that I identify with was introduced to this activity, because I didn't debate in high school, nor did I know about the idea of what a UDL was, or even knew what I didn't know what UDL was until I started debating. And then here at this campus when I really got to learn the history of UDLs and how that its original reasoning for significance was brought about or whatever. And like Chanel, and another reason I feel like I'm answering this question so like kind of pessimistically but kind of complex, you know what I'm saying, is because like Chanel Reed, she was talking about how like her entrance into policy debate on the college level was like a UDL, but not a UDL where it was like a high school from Atlanta that was created at, you know what I'm saying, like a majority black high school where they was able to go compete against other high schools that wasn't majority black. So like how I look at this, like how I look at the debate activity is it's an activity for me, it's a training ground. It's a training ground for me to sharpen up my tools of rhetoric and oratory to go out and like be able to talk to policymakers, be able to talk to city council members, be able to talk to, you know what I'm saying, mayors and anybody in all depths of politics, from the federal level to the local level to the state level, and being able to convey a message with them, but not only a message that kind of suppresses like the voice of my neighborhood and the voice of where I come from, but also I can be able to take that voice to those spaces that renders my style of communication to be inferior, not political.